Hello everybody, and you're very welcome to my second annual Football Manager Hall of Fame video to celebrate my second anniversary of uploading Football Manager videos to YouTube. This will be the decision of my own to pick my favourite players from my most recent three clubs since last year, which are Le Mans FC, Sturm Graz and Bursaspor. If you're not familiar with the format, I'm basically just using Foothead and EA Sports FIFA assets to describe my players and show you some photographs and stuff and talk about my favourite moments with them and their statistics and such. So I hope you enjoy the video, and I hope some of your favourite players are included in this Hall of Fame. But if not, hopefully I'll have time to keep using them for a little longer and get them in for next year. But for now, sit back, enjoy and find out who is in the starting 11 of my second annual Hall of Fame. To begin proceedings, you can see my starting 11 is going to be a 3-5-2, and the goalkeeper nominee is Quentin Bernardo. Bernardo was so unlucky not to be in my first Hall of Fame, but ever since Macaritze left, he's been absolutely phenomenal with 287 appearances, 76 clean sheets over 10 seasons, and the local lad from Le Mans itself, I couldn't imagine the team without him ever since he's been here since day one. You can see all those stats, and he's absolutely the number one goalkeeper I've had this season. Keeping strikers at bay are my three centre-back nominations: Kalidou Koulibaly, Zhang Xuesi and Nikola Vujanovic. Koulibaly at €3.5 million is my most expensive signing in Le Mans history, and he is by far worth every penny with 121 appearances, 8 goals with an average rating of 7.54 over 5 seasons. Apart from a few injuries he's had for a few months at a time, he's been absolutely phenomenal, and the team really has benefited with Koulibaly's presence in the defence. The first Sturm Graz nominee is, of course, Nikola Vujanovic. The Montenegrin centre-back has played 128 times across his career, 20 goals scored with 3 assists over 4 seasons with a 7.14 average rating. His hat-trick against Lech Poznan was his most famous moment, but his defensive ability is what really makes him stand out, and the Blackies will be much worse off without him. Saving the best for last is, of course, Chinese regen Zhang Xuesi. He's had a phenomenal 5 seasons at Le Mans with a 7.59 average rating over 154 appearances. He's been Team of the Season nominated twice, and you can see some phenomenal stats, and we're so fortunate to have this Chinese beast in our centre defence. Moving swiftly on, we have 2 nominees for our winger positions: Yusuf Masakni and Carlos Exposito. Exposito was my assist junkie at Sturm Graz with a whopping 35 and just 63 appearances for the Blackies over the 2 seasons I've had him, and the 7.24 average rating was pretty incredible to say the least for such a bargain buy, and the Spanish Armada was truly started by him, and everyone loves him at the club. My right winger, Yusuf Masakni, has to make do with a left midfield position in my Hall of Fame, but certainly he has every reason to be here with so many wonderful moments for the club with the 7.04 average rating. The free transfer from the Middle East has come up trumps, and his career looks to have a few more years in it yet, and we cannot forget his name around these parts. Next on the agenda are my 3 central midfield nominations. They are Fernando Belushi, Jose Adi Carlos and Paulo Batalla. Bursaspor were in poor shape when I arrived, but Fernando Belushi was definitely one man who made it better. He played 62 times for me, 219 overall for the Turkish club. He scored 40 times, 31 assists, and certainly without him, times would have been tough with Bursaspor, but his versatility was the name of his game, as he could score, defend and make goals as well. We have a proud philosophy of growing our own youth talent at Le Mans, but here's an example of a player that had to come from abroad to join us. Jose Adi Carlos is only 24 years old, but he's come on leaps and bounds ever since joining the Monaco, and with time on his hands, he can certainly become one of the greatest central midfielders we've ever seen in this game. I was unfortunate to have met Paulo Batalla just out of his peak, but despite that, he put in one of the great performances I've ever seen throughout half a season. That injury that took him out for the rest of the year denied him the golden boot without a shadow of a doubt, and certainly his leadership helped us finish second in the Turkish Super League last season, and hopefully he has one more year in him before his final testimonial to give us that title. There are just 2 positions to be filled, and I'm granting those positions to Marco Jurchen and Shebe Shrivers. Jurchen initially struggled to make a name for himself under my leadership, but once he got his fair opportunity, he made such an impact that he ended up winning the Golden Boot and scored in the Champions League. Unfortunately, my successor sold him to Birmingham City for a minuscule fee, but hopefully he realised his mistake and comes back to the Blackies one day. I was shocked but absolutely delighted that I could find a talent like Shebe Shivers on a free, and his first season was so good that he won the Golden Boot at his first attempt, and ever since then he's been a bit inconsistent, not able to score some of the easy chances, but he's never won for not trying, and I can't wait to see what the next decade has in store for him. So there are my favourite 11 players from the last 12 months of Football Manager, but it would be cruel to just leave it there, so let's look at my bench and reserve nominations. Looking at the 7 bench nominations for my Hall of Fame, you'll see on the left there, Omer Kaveci is the only other goalkeeper in this entire Hall of Fame. I've struggled to find goalkeepers apart from Bernardo at other clubs, so he has to do. You can see on the right we've Robert Beric. He was absolutely brilliant for Sturm Graz, but he moved on swiftly to Nottingham Forest when the opportunity arose, but it was very good to have him. You can see Jordan Martin probably could have made the starting 11, but he hasn't really played often enough. But I can't not play Jordan Martin when he's fit. He's such a good player. Gautier Mahodo in the middle there is a free kick specialist, and apart from his extreme aggression, he's such a loyal player, and he's one of those famous day one delights. Ehrenreich wasn't the greatest player ever, but he was such a stalwart. He always did his best and retired with dignity from Sturm Graz. And Junior Ntame, who was basically Zhang Suesi before Zhang Suesi existed. He was absolutely brilliant, and without him, Le Mans would never have been promoted, so well done to him. The final 7 players worthy of nomination are as follows. You can see we've 3 Sturm Graz and 2 Bursaspor players here, so thankfully we have them represented. Christian Clem and Danny Castellano were basically very similar players, but they did great jobs for me. Clem scored the winner that helped us on our way to league title. Remo Mali was one of the few Austrians I was able to sign, and that was a great deal because he was another player who did so well that he got attracted to English football, so he left to play for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Harrison sadly left Le Mans as he got fed up of the lack of opportunities, but what a player he was. He was a sequel to Ronaldinho, and every penny was worth it. He loved playing for the club, and I'll miss him dearly, but it was time to let him go. Ekeng, he scored that brace against Toulouse. You'll remember it was worthy of the number 1 spot in my Moments of the Year 2013, and he went to Auxerre after 8 years of service. Hirsute Merich and Enes Unal complete the Hall of Fame. Enes Unal got the Golden Boot last season, but was sold to Southampton for a record 11.5 million. Merich's ability to go above and beyond the Call of Duty was what got him the spot ahead of Matrian and Wheeler, and he only had 2 seasons, but they were both excellent seasons, so well done. So that's the absolute end of my Hall of Fame for 2014. I hope you enjoyed, and if you preferred it to last year's one, let me know down below. And if your favourite player wasn't picked by me, then have your say and maybe convince me otherwise. Bye for now.